back again, Vids, welcome back again for another video. Welcome back again to the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. So we're back again for another video. This is not an unbox. It's a bit of a... Let's go over it. That's what this is. You guys know I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. If you guys have followed this channel, you know that I actually am part of a local Ghostbuster franchise in Western New York. We go out and about full gear. We suit up completely to raise money for Toys for Tots, among other charities. As a lifelong Ghostbusters fan, today was something pretty monumentous. I've done some pretty amazing things, but this is more mainstream. And I'll explain what I mean by that, guys. So anyone that's been following the world past couple years knows that they were making a new Ghostbusters movie. This one is supposed to be a direct follow-up of the first two movies. It has nothing to do with Answer the Call. There's nothing wrong with that. But with the fandom, they wanted continuity. They wanted continuation. There's been new action figures, toys that have come out. Well, about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, they came up with the Spengler one, which is supposed to be a tie-in with the movie Ghostbusters Afterlife. The one that obviously Egon Spengler modified and built before he passed away. This one's supposed to have a lot of new bells and whistles and some improvements. Well, when we first got it, there was an additional adapter to connect the hose onto, which we thought was... It seems kind of weird. Maybe they did it for the cosplayers. Those of us who suit up. Because I actually have it on one of my spare Proton packs. I connected a loom to it and just kind of zip tied it to fasten it on there. Okay? Well, Hasbro did the release, or did a little teaser last week that they were going to do a Ghostbusters Haslab, but it was a cart with mostly covered Proton pack. And that's what they unveiled today for today's big Hush Hush premium stream. They released the Egon Spengler, the Spengler Proton pack. We're going to go over that, guys. I'm going to go over some bullet points with it. There are some awesomeness with it, and I do have some, there's pros, but I also have some cons with it, guys. So we're going to go into this, okay? So I'm going to switch over here. And there we go. This is the official Hasbro Pulse website. You can see the URL right there. Okay. Let me just close out of that. Oh, and by the way, anyone who's a modder or big Ghostbusters fan, there's already a Ghostbusters Afterlife Proton Pack group on Facebook that you may want to look up, okay? So here we go. We got the more of a stitched look of the Ghostbusters logo. They made the logo look as if it's on a printed fabric, which is pretty cool. Looks great, especially if you're a patch collector, which I am. Ghostbusters designed by Haslab. So guys, nice little schematic of the Proton Pack, which we've seen featured on the plasma figures for Ghostbusters. Let's scroll down. Now here we're going to look at the actual prop here. We're going to start at the top, guys. Let's start all the way up at the top here, right? I was already drooling and looking on it, of course. Okay, so here we go. This is Afterlife inspired, obviously. We have a lot of heavy weathering on here, which I love that on a pack. Okay, looks like it's been used and shot to hell pretty much. Okay. Also, if you notice here, we do have, let me see if I can I enlarge this? There we go. Let's open that up. Oh, that didn't work. I'm sorry, guys. But here we go. Now, I will say this: the Cyclotron lights, the red circles that you see right here, these red lenses, they look tremendously bigger than what we see on even a Spirits or even on a Ben of Kent's Proton Pack, which is a full-scale Proton Pack, which I have. A lot of little extras here. The wiring, patched up little clips reinforcing the cables. We have some tape up here. We have some blue electrical tape up here. The red wire looks really worn and beat up. I'm loving that. Look how scratched up and beat up everything is. We have a wider power cell light right here. That's what this light is called. This is the power cell. This is the gearbox with the crank knob. But I mean, the weathering on here is tremendous. I love the, these are extra parts that we don't see on standard Proton packs that are featured in the Afterlife packs. And if you notice, there are straps here, but we're going to get into that in just a little bit later, guys. And by the way, they already have 400, let me just refresh the screen. They already have 1,369 people backing this. Now, I'm not a Hasbro Pulse Premium member, so I cannot put an order in just yet. The order is going to be done. They're going to open orders to everyone at 8 p.m. this evening, Eastern time. I unfortunately will not be able to put my order in, not just yet. They're going to run this for 46 days, 6 hours, 15 minutes. Okay? So we're going to have up until December 13th to place an order if we want to. Now, I'm going to get into that as well towards the end of the video, guys. So let's continue on. Here's another look of the pack. I love the extra wiring, the age distress ribbon cable going here. We still don't know what this extra component is. Maybe we'll find that out. If you look in the back, there's a little red thing right there. That's a power switch. Now, in the original Ghostbusters movie, in the elevator, when they're using the Proton packs in the field for the very first time, Ray says, he says, oh, well, go ahead and start me up. And we see it looks like Egon is reaching somewhere in the center of the pack to hit a switch. Well, it's under this ion arm right behind this elbow right here. There's a little switch that kind of goes left to right to turn on. So that's pretty awesome. And again, we have a lot of weathering. We've got good close-ups of the weathering here. Let's go on to, okay, here's a little side view. I love that they got the bolt down there. Usually we see a bolt up here, but they have it down there. But this is modeled after the pack that is going to be in Afterlife. There's a lot of different extras, a lot of differences on these packs. Like, we see a black wire here. I don't know if it's supposed to be black or dark navy. Usually on the standard Proton packs, it's blue and red. So there are some very subtle differences, guys. Here's the pack with no lights, with the LED from the power cell on. Now, this is one thing I'm a little bit kind of about, but I get it. It's technology. They're trying to replicate certain things. Usually we see solid red light, but obviously you can see the red LEDs clustered together. I mean, that's a minor gripe, but you're going to have some people that are still going to gripe about it. Now, if the lens wasn't, if the lens was more frosted, it might not show those individual LEDs. But that's neither here nor there, guys. Minor gripe. But I know people in the Ghostbusters community will bitch and moan about this. It is something they're going to bring up. I know it's going to happen. I don't want to sound negative, but I'm just bringing up all the pros and cons here because this is David's Dimension, guys. I bring it to you honest. These are my honest thoughts and opinions. These are not associated with anyone. So let's just keep on rolling. Now, they give us straps here, and these straps look really good. They look pretty good. These are not true Alice frame straps. Alice frames are the metal harness, the frame that actually is mounted on the back of the Proton pack with the military style straps that go onto it. An Alice frame is actually used for any time in the military you see the large oversized packs that they're wearing. It's an Alice frame on here. Now, on here we just have the straps coming right out of the back of the Proton pack. That's not bad. A few things that are missing is obviously they give us all the decals on the front of the pack. We're missing the one that says danger right here. But that's something we can get. There's plenty of people on Etsy. Mac Factory sells metal ones. There's a lot of different places we can outsource that label for. Also, if you notice here, we have a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, a row right here. There may be some other spots here, probably here and here. There's almost like a little rectangular molded part that comes outwards. I'm guessing here and here, and these spots right here, this is where you could actually mount a real Alice frame onto it. At least that's my hope, and that's hope of a lot of people I've spoken to already. Because an Alice frame, you had the extra neck cushion on the back of it. So, I'm really liking this. This, I mean, it's way better than anything Spirit Halloween has ever come out with, let's be honest. They look pretty solid, pretty heavy duty. We got the waist belt right here. Do you have to do that? No. I mean, obviously, it looks like you can unfasten it, remove it from here, and obviously, we have a little panel right here. This is probably going to be where a rechargeable battery port is. At least that's my guess. I mean, that makes the most sense that this is going to be where you put your batteries, you unscrew it, and change your batteries out. Obviously, if I do anything like that, it's going to be rechargeable batteries. But if I know the Ghostbuster community, they will be coming up with mods for this sometime in the near future. The only problem is, none of us are going to get our hands on a real Spengler or Proton pack until spring of 2023. That's right, about 18 months away, guys. So we got to wait until spring of 2023. Not 2022, but 2023. So we got a while. We got about a year and change here. We've waited longer for Ghostbusters Afterlife to come out. So, no worries there. So let's move on to the next part. This is the big bang right here, guys. What do I mean by this? Our Cyclotron opens up. Now, this is the inside of the Cyclotron where the LEDs are. They gave a very cool mechanical looking. They gave like these little extra components that make it look like these are extra parts for the LEDs. I mean, obviously they did a whole lot here. And I'm curious about this. This almost looks, I want to say, spring-loaded in some shape or form. This gives me all kinds of theories. Because if you ever, any Ghostbusters fan out there, if you ever played Ghostbusters the video game, that's where I'm going with this, guys. So that's going to be interesting. If these are individual motors, and if we get an overheat function where it actually comes out to cool, I'm going to lose my mind, guys, if that happens. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, go ahead and go on YouTube and check out Ghostbusters the video game. Or you can type in overheat function on Ghostbusters Proton Pack, and you'll see what I mean. But what's cool about this is we actually get to, for the very first time ever, be able to basically pull the top of the Cyclotron and actually see part of the particle accelerator itself, the nuclear accelerator. We can see the coils on the sides here. The center part of the Cyclotron itself, they give us a nice little, almost I guess a coolant type looking apparatus for the vent, for the end filter vent. I mean, you can even take that center portion out and you can see more wiring, more little components here. And we have some toggle switches, which I'm guessing is going to be for different modes. So, I mean, not only are they giving us a lot of fan service, a lot of insight into this. I mean, you could have this on display opened at a Comic-Con or in your own collection, and it's going to look tremendous. I mean, yes, it's a price point of $399.99, but this is an officially licensed, and they're giving us all these extras here. Okay, let's move on to the next part. These are little extras that are not in your standard Ghostbusters Proton Pack. It'll only be featured in Afterlife. Look at all the intense weathering. Got a little extra grommet right here. I love how faded and damaged everything is, how everything's distressed. This is usually a brass piece, but they have it all faded and worn like it's been sitting around for 40 years, like they should. Now, this is something for the backers. Okay, this is actually an adult wearing the pack. And I'll be honest, it doesn't look true to 100% to scale. Maybe 90% maybe. It's not like the 75 or 80% Spirit ones, but it definitely looks a little bit smaller. I could be wrong, but I love the little extra pieces that they have right here. Now these little slime pieces that you can put on, that is part of, if you're an Hasbro Pulse Premium member, and you order within, I believe, the first 48 hours of this Haslab, that's something extra you can automatically get. But you have to be, I believe, Hasbro Premium Plus, and you'll get that. Now, I mean, just look at the parts here. I mean, so much detail in here. I mean, it looks tremendous, guys. It looks tremendous. I mean, just as a standalone prop, even if you don't have the lights on, I mean, this looks amazing. Okay, the weathering they did on here is tremendous. So what I just did was I threw a little picture of my Spirit Proton pack, so you can see the kind of weathering I did. It's a little bit more invasive, but I love the look that they've done on here. I mean, everything it's tremendous, guys. I mean, and what more can I say about this? See it lighting up, the power cell fully lit. I mean, personally, I would love to see. I wish they would have demonstrated the lights and the functions of the pack in person, because I think that would drive people, pull people in, saying, "Yes, you come on, guys, you got to do this." Now, their goal for this is only 7,000. 7,000 orders, and it'll be made. But that doesn't mean there's only 7,000. There's a lot more. Basically, you have up until December 13th to put your order in. If they, the target is 7,000. If they get 17,000 orders, they'll make them all. They will. It's just you won't be getting it until 2023. Now, they are limiting 5 per customer, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, literally, you could get 5 Proton packs, Now, of course, on here says, have you ever seen any reports on just your basic Ghostbusters rhetoric? This is open from October 27th to December 12th. If funded, we will begin shipping in spring of 2023. Now, I could click on this video and play it, but we don't want copyright strikes here. We got one. Now, this is discussing all the various parts of this. It says, look, we get it. Not everyone is lucky enough to have an eccentric genius grandfather who left a fully functional, albeit unlicensed, nuclear accelerator. Most people just get slacks and socks. It was with this understanding we decided to cook up something special. We're professionals here at Hasbro Pulse Haslab, and we wouldn't waste a second of this amazing fan base's time. Basically, they go on, but let's talk about some of the particulars here. Fan funding for this iconic 1-to-1 scale role-play item, $3.99. 7,000 backers to answer the call and officially fund the project. 9,000, and we unlock Class 1 unlockable stretch goal, the Classic Bundle. We're not sure what the Classic Bundle is. They did hint at a 1984 version, so maybe there's a swappable component for the Cyclotron. Maybe some of the extra wires are detachable, so we can have a 1984 look. That's a possibility. We'll see what happens with that. 11,000 backers to unlock the Class 2 unlockable stretch goal Ghostbusters Afterlife Bundle. What is the Afterlife Bundle? We don't know yet. Once we hit that goal, we'll find out. More details to follow. Obviously, that's going to be something to complement the Spengler Proton Pack, I'm guessing. Could it be a new version of the PKE like they use in the movie? We'll see. 13,000, and we get Class 3 unlockable stretch goal, the Spengler Special. We don't know what that is yet. We have no hints as to what that could be. And 15,000 backers to unlock the Class 4 unlockable stretch goal of the Supernatural Stand. Supernatural Stand, I'm imagining this is some kind of a stand that is meant to show off maybe all the extras, to show off the pack. Personally, as a cosplayer myself, every Ghostbuster out there, we use guitar stands. Metal, foldable, aluminum guitar stands. That's what we use to get our packs to kind of stand up. It's not always the best, but, here are the little symbols, like the Zener cards that Venkman used in the first movie. So there we go, Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, Class 4. I'm not going to go through all the rhetoric. You guys can check this out. And I'm going to have the link to this page in the video description below, of course, as well as a link to some other items you may have of interest if you're a Ghostbusters fan and you're eager about Ghostbusters Afterlife. So let's go down further. We're making history with the movie-inspired replica scanned directly from the Ghostbusters Afterlife Proton Pack Hero Prop. Yes, Sony Pictures Consumer Products. Let us play with the real thing. Out of this world tech features lights, sounds, and a motor. You hear that, guys? A motor for active roleplay and recreating iconic scenes. Now, it doesn't say iconic scenes from the movies. It just says iconic scenes. So we might have some Ghostbusters, the video game functionality like I thought. 2 modes of play include lights and sounds from both the 1984 classic Ghostbusters and the upcoming 2021 Ghostbusters Afterlife. Did we use supernatural sorcery? Nope, we just used the switch. Modular and lightweight, this scientific wonder is the closest thing you get to strapping a real nuclear particle accelerator to your back, and much less dangerous. Have we mentioned that this proton pack is compatible with the Ghostbusters Plasma Series Spengler? Spengler's Neutrona wand, sold separately, because it is. The proton pack features a metal V-hook that basically just goes on and on. Scary good, accurate details. Maybe it's the apocalypse. How could it not be the apocalypse when this seems way too good to be true? This isn't any old pack you see. This is the proton pack of your aspirational childhood dreams. Still, that wasn't enough for us. Not for the very first Ghostbusters Haslab project. We couldn't help ourselves. We were compelled to go above and beyond. Hey, no job is too big, right? That's why we decided to offer a total of 4 unlockable. Basically, it's reiterating the various classifications of what the campaign can unlock. So there we are. There we are, guys. I'm super stoked. Are you super stoked? So there we are. Haslab coming out, punching. Now, in case you're not familiar with the Spengler one, let me show you. There we go. Set that pack on the ground. Okay, so this right here is the Spengler Neutrona wand. This is what Hasbro came out with, featured based off of the one that's going to be in the movie. Again, this shows you the kind of heavy weathering that they had. Here's the V-clip. A V-hook. This one's a slightly different one because I swapped it out, so it would work with what I use on my proton packs. A lot of people have been doing a lot of heavy modding so they can sync this up with their proton packs, but it's going to be interesting to see if this really does interface with this new proton pack, because here's that adapter I mentioned. Okay, I have a little zip tie holding it on there. There was no hole in here. Now, inside, there's battery pack, right? But the question is, now, the battery pack has 2 little connectors that post in. Here's the question. We don't know the answers yet. This is just my own personal speculation. Because we have these 2 posts inside, could the hose from the proton pack have 2 similar posts that it will sync up with the wand, so we can control different functions of the pack through the wand? That's one hope. We won't know until 2023. But the Spengler wand, which is still available on Hasbro Pulse, by the way, no, this video is not sponsored by Hasbro Pulse, but this battery pack takes 3 AA's, and then it only fits in one way. If I can get this to slide in, there we go. Now, this does come with a cap that doesn't have the connector for the hose, so if you just want it on display, you can just do that. So there we go. Now on here, we got a shotgun mount, and they have this faux kind of grip tape. You can always remove this. People have removed this and 3D printed the rest of the handle, or they've replaced it with their own actual tape. There we go. Now on here, there are safety functions. 1, 2. You can hear the motor and humming, which gets me all kinds of excited, because if they have motors in the proton pack, it's going to be pretty crazy, right? Now, you heard me talk about the video game mode. Video game mode had 4 weapons. You get a regular particle strength. Okay, now let's click it. Now we're in slime blower mode. Okay. Now, stasis. Boson collider. And the motor's going full blast. That's one of the great things that they did with this, was they put a motor in here, and you can intensify it or lower it. Don't know how well you guys can hear it. There's a little bit more rattling in here. So when you're firing, you can feel vibrations. That's one thing that Jason Reitman had them do in the actual props. So when these kids, when the young people were actually using them in the movie, they could feel like they're really blasting. So that's pretty awesome. Of course, this has the actual hook so you can hang it from your belt. That's just an idea, but if they threw all that much detail into this, I'm sure there's a lot we have not seen on here. We don't know what those toggle switches inside the Cyclotron does. Possibly one switches it from one mode to the other, but what does the other do? The fact that it looks like there's little motors on the Cyclotron lights. Could it, because in the video game, the Cyclotron lights themselves, when the pack overheats, there's these cylinders that actually are the Cyclotron lights. They actually come out and they release exhaust. Now, I don't think that they're going to be having any kind of vapor coming out, but a little bit of flashing, and also the effect of the cooldown. Okay. Now, I'm going to, on the wand, there is a overheating. Hold on. If you don't do the proper sequence, it won't let you fire. There's a safety measure on here. That's the overheating function, guys. So, final thoughts on this, guys. This pack is tremendous. It's got a lot of coolness to it. And I know that once all the fans out there, especially the Ghostbuster groups, when they get their hands on the pack, will there be modding? Oh, yes. There will be improvements made upon these packs. I guarantee it. But it won't happen for another year and a half. So I'm a little surprised that someone created a group so quickly, because Haslabs don't usually have a quick turnaround. I myself, I'm a lifelong Ghostbusters fan. Am I going to get this pack? Do I want this pack? Yes, I want this pack. It is $400. So that's my apprehension. Because the average person, this is, I mean, is it affordable for a lot of people? Yes. But we got a couple problems with that, guys. There's a few issues. One, it is October 27th. In less than a week, we're going to be past Halloween and into November. We got Thanksgiving. We got Christmas. I mean, the holidays are coming. If you're not someone who is flush financially, this is going to be something that is going to be, well, let me see. I need to get gifts for all these people. But I really want to get this. So, it's one of those things where you have to weigh your priorities. You have to see how you are financially. Can you financially swing it? Another thing, Hasbro Pulse. The Haslab does not do PayPal. They don't do Apple Pay. You have to have everything on one form of payment. Okay. Let me actually show you guys what I'm talking about. Back on the website. Okay. Let's go to Haslabs. Let's go. See, they got a list for active projects. Very cool. They're up to 1653, so I definitely see that being funded. So let's go to their FAQ. Okay, ordering tracking accounts. I want to say accounts. Nope, sorry, wrong link. Let's go to ordering. How much will it cost to ship my order? Shipping concerns. What methods of payments do they accept? They accept MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover. It says PayPal and Apple Pay. It says that, but then read the next line, guys. At this time, we cannot accept PayPal or Apple Pay or prepaid debit cards as a form of payments for pre-order purchases or crowd-funded purchases. Okay, so they only allow PayPal for in-stock items. Now, why do I bring PayPal up? Because if someone doesn't have a $1,000 credit card, or what if they only have a $200 credit card and $200 here, PayPal would allow you to, okay, I want to move money from this account over to this account. I can kind of move things around. I can shuffle it around. They're not going to allow that here. Okay, that's kind of a downer. Okay, I mean, if you have a checking account, like a bank card account, I guess if you can move things around, you might be able to pull that off. You might be able to. So, I mean, you get the holidays fast approaching, which is one thing. If you're Joe Average, you don't make a lot of money, but this is something you really want, you might not be able to. Okay? You just might not be able to. I'm going to try and pull all the things I can possibly do. I mean, I'm going to try and get some overtime if I possibly can through my work, which is not so easy. A lot of times they only have overtime available for me on weekends when there are holidays and we're already traveling. So I'm going to have to see what I can do. I mean, it's just over a month and a half, basically, 45, 46 days to try and swing this around, to try and swing $400 together. Well, it's $400 plus tax plus shipping. So we'll see what that works out to. I mean, I'm New York State, so that's not cheap here, guys. Let me just throw that in, pull up the old calculator. Sales tax here in Western New York is, in New York State is 8.75% tax. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Let's just multiply that by even 400. It's about $34, $35 in taxes, depending on what they charge for shipping on top of that. So I probably would have to, just to be safe, maybe make sure I have like 500, but we'll see what happens with that. So that's going to be very interesting. We'll see what happens with that. So am I going to get it? I'm going to try. If it's not in cards, it's not in cards. You know? It is what it is, right, guys? So there we are. Like I said, there's a few minor things, but also none of us have the pack in hand. So I can't really give an accurate breakdown or an accurate description. I can only go on what I'm seeing based on the pictures. If you're a big Ghostbusters fan and you can swing it financially, go for it, guys. Go for it. Just go. When have we ever been commercially offered a Proton pack? Outside of a Novos, which was a big headache for a lot of people, and there's still a lot of people who are out that money. Other than going through some third-party source, I myself, I built my Proton pack. Bought a kit through Ben of Kent, also known as BOK. Ben of Kent on Amazon. You can find him on Facebook. I believe he also has an Etsy store. Sells all the parts that you need to build a pack, minus the electronics, minus painting it. I did the whole thing. And my pack is not 100% perfect. The wand, which I got through Carnivorous Creations, wasn't the greatest because, well, I was a novice. So, but definitely, I mean, between the Spengler wand and the wands and the pack itself, this pack is $400, and the wand is $125. So that's about $525 right there before taxes and shipping. That's still a ton cheaper than my Benekent. My Benekent was easily around $1,000, if not a few bucks more. So that is what it, it is what it is. For those who are knocking it, who might be knocking this, saying, "Oh, I built my pack. A real fan builds your pack." You know what? There's no one that says a real fan can't buy their stuff. Maybe they don't have the skill set. Maybe they don't have the means to build a pack. Maybe they don't have a workshop. Maybe they're in a small 2-bedroom apartment. You know, I mean, people have kids. You know, you don't want tools and wires and chemicals that can make a person pass out, get sick. We all have our reasons. Okay. I love doing the mods. I do a lot of stuff with the spirit gear. I mean, this right here is a Spirit Proton pack, a heavily modified Spirit Halloween Proton pack, and that's where I have my Spengler wand on. Okay, you see how heavy weathered this is? That's why I love how weathered this Spengler pack is. So, I'm going to try and move heaven and earth and other dimensions if I have to create a cross rip myself, interdimensional cross rip and reverse space and time. To do so, then I'm going to do everything I possibly can. Stay tuned to the channel for further updates. I have a bunch of links in the video description below if you want more information on the Spengler Proton Pack, on the Spengler Wand, on the Hasbro Spengler Proton Pack Haslab group. I'm going to have a link to their Facebook group as well. Also, I'm also going to have links to Ben of Kent and also to GBfans.com. These are all sites where you can outsource your own Ghostbuster gear and equipment, uniforms, accessories, anything and everything under the sun, guys. So there we are. That's it for this video. I want to thank you guys for checking out the Dimension as always. Thank you guys for being a part of this amazing channel that we've built here. And you guys know what I'm going to say. As always, I want you guys to keep on busting, and I will always catch you on the flip side. Take care.